You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley. This week, we're talking about making summer feel magical without adding stress. From creative, budget-friendly ideas to unforgettable outdoor play, we explore ways to build connection and fun into the season, even if you're working full-time or navigating a packed family schedule.
We start by talking about the recent rescue of 25 missing children in Florida and chat about summer camp, structured versus unstructured summers, and how to stay present when life feels full.
And I mean, we sprinkle a bunch of other shit.
And then we sprinkle a bunch of other stuff
in between.
It is a stuffed episode.
Enjoy.
Mamas, I love a full and silky texture in my face creams because they feel so healing and comforting to my dry, thirsty skin. Well, the award-winning, best-selling, lightweight moisture release water cream by Honest Beauty called Hydrogel Cream refreshes and cools my skin on application and leaves a dewy finish. As I mentioned on the Hope-isode, Kathy's story, I love mixing Hydrogel Cream into my foundation for a healthy-looking glow. Infused with jojoba and squalene to help hydrate and soothe thirst, plus 2 sizes of hyaluronic acid to help soften and firm, reducing the appearance of fine lines. Honest Beauty's Hydrogel Cream will provide a beautiful glow for very dry skin. We're leaving the link below in our show notes. Drink up, mamas.
Mamas, I want to have rosé all day, have fun, and let myself live a little without feeling drunk or feeling hungover the next day. So I treat myself by adding rosé tinted glasses to my sparkling water or lemonade. If you're like me and you're looking for calm daytime energy while feeling alert, present, and uplifted because, well, you know, you're a mom now. Adaptogenic and antioxidant-rich ingredients make rosé tinted glasses from Apothecary great for those battling feelings of stress and looking to curb signs of aging with improved skin tone and moisture. Its tincture format makes it easy to drop wherever you're making it. It's perfect for busy working moms, busy stay-at-home moms who are looking for mood and energy support on the go. We're leaving a link below and in our show notes. So cheers, mamas!
I think like fertility treatments
made us
fertility
they
made us
our
helicopter moms.
Yeah, they formed our children's futures. As far as parenting goes, it locked it right in.
Yeah. Like I'm literally like I don't want to be, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
I'm like super like all over him when it comes to like his feelings, his emotions.
Yeah.
Everything.
Annabelle asked to be picked up.
You pick her up.
She's carried wherever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't question it.
Mm-mm.
If anyone does question it, I like stare them down as I'm holding her and kissing her cheek.
Every time Hayden puts his little arms up for me to like hold him, I could be right in the middle of something, and I'll have a moment where I'm like, oh man, I'm right in the middle of something, but then I just see him, and literally in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's only this little today. Mm-hmm. Like tomorrow, he won't be this little.
Right.
Pick him up. Because you're going to have those moments where you're going to look back and be like, I wish you were little again.
Yeah, you're going to miss it.
I mean, I already like, because of Facebook, it'll give me like memories of his little wiggle butt when he was like crawling on the floor. I thought it was so disgusting with him on the floor. I was so happy when he was off the floor. But like the days of him crawling and his little butt in the air was just like so cute. And I'm just like, oh my God, you look like a little boy.
Yeah.
Like, he has moments where I see the baby, but then he has moments where he just see this little boy, and I'm just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Where'd my little baby go?
You know, it's crazy. I see Annabelle's little babiness come out with, like, there's just little...
The nose crinkle.
There's just little mannerisms that they do that, like, you're always... I feel like until they're, like, in their 40s or 50s or, like, whatever, we're gonna just remember those things that they do, like, their little mannerisms.
We finally had a weekend where it was
nice weather.
Yes. It is 1,001 degrees. So that's exciting.
I haven't been outside yet, and we have the AC pumping upstairs. All the windows are closed. And until very recently, all the blinds were closed.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a rainy day in here.
It looked like, well, so this morning it rained a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like a dark, rainy day. And then all of a sudden the sun came out, and it was like, it kept the humidity. And then like the heat. I went for a walk earlier with Chris. We took the dog and Hayden, and it was fine in the shade with like a breeze, but that sun was just like beating down. And at one point, Hayden's just like, "It's hot, mama." And I'm like, okay. When my toddler, who like literally can like, I feel like he's just like all seasons, doesn't matter, nothing phases him. But when like a toddler is like, this is enough, it's just like, okay, it's time, we're going back. So we cut the walk short because I was like, yeah, you're right, it's a bit much.
Annabelle won't complain, but when she walks outside and the sun is out, it's 70 and there's a breeze, she's like, "This is what I like." And I'm like, what? Well, the weather?
Yeah, it's funny because every time we walked in the shade, and I would go, "Oh, that's better." So he heard me say that. So every time we got shade, he'd go, "Oh, that's better."
Yeah.
"Oh, that's better."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, old man.
So funny. Yeah.
So cute.
No, the only reason why I feel like she doesn't complain is because we went to support my friend in the Pride Parade yesterday.
Yeah, how was that?
It was really good. She had fun.
Good. The photos were so cute. Yeah. And she must have like thought, because like she's obsessed with rainbows. Yeah. So she probably thought this was like the best celebration ever.
Yeah.
She's like, everyone got the memo.
Right. Rainbows are amazing.
Yes.
Oh my God. Towards the end, they had this huge giant. And when I say giant, there are really, truly no words to describe how large this flag was. And it was like basically half the parade. Like the parade was huge. So, but it was like a quarter of the parade was just this. You know how when you used to play parachute and like kindergarten or whatever, and you like toss the parachute up and like it comes down and it falls and you like run.
Yes, I used to love that game.
Yeah. Well, picture that as a rainbow flag, except for the longest possible rainbow flag. It was like it took up the entire Park Avenue, and then as far as like the width goes, it took up the entire 4-lane of Park Avenue, and it went down like you couldn't even see.
I would love to see, like, a bird's eye view of that.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It was gorgeous. And I was like,
from there.
Look. And she was like, ah! And she just wanted to go over there and stand there and watch it. And this was, like, it was at the very end of the parade. So, like, we had already ended.
Yeah.
And so she was just, like, mesmerized. It was really good. But it was so hot. And she did say a few times she wanted to stand in the shade, which was fine. But she wasn't, like, mad about it. And then her cheeks were bright red, but she was just, like, trooping along. Like, she was inside the little cart waving the flag, hugging her unicorn, and just like, woohoo, this is the greatest thing ever. So cute. Yeah. So our anniversary was Tuesday.
Yes.
And so...
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you. And usually every year we, like, say we're going to go to Joseph's by the Sea, because that's where we had our rehearsal dinner. Every year we say we're going to go. Yeah. And this year, Mike actually made reservations. It was so funny because, like, we got there and the receptionist was just like, okay, hold on, I'll get you guys seated soon. So we had a minute to look around and observe what was going on around us. And there was this group of 3 just graduated from college guys at the bar. And they had been there for a little while. They were slightly intoxicated. And then 2 girls walked in right before we got seated, and they were specifically there because the guys were there. Yeah. And I think they were going out after dinner together as a group. So it was 2 girls, 3 guys. They sat the guys and the girls first, and so they all went together, so we thought they were sitting together. Right. They weren't sitting together. They were all the same age. So the guys were sitting at a table by themselves, and the 2 girls were sitting outside at a table by themselves. And it just so happened that our table was like an inch away from the guys' table. So when I sat down, I was basically sitting closer to the guys than I was to Mike, because Mike was across the table, so I could hear everything that they were saying. Yeah, you loved this. It was so funny. I was basically like touching heads with one of these kids. So Mike, really funny here, just like so Mike could also hear the entire conversation. It was so good. So apparently, okay, so at one point we're eating our food and we look outside and notice that the 2 girls are sitting out there by themselves. And one of the guys is out there standing over the table chatting with them. And so we start listening to the conversation behind us of the other guys that are left. And they're like, man, so-and-so's got game. And he's like, yeah, but he's been friends with her since they were like 3 years old. So do you think he's really actually attracted to her?
Oh God, did you think about Hayden and Annabelle?
And like the guy had brown hair and the girl had blonde hair.
Oh no!
And they were both really attractive people. They were both so cute.
But they probably looked at each other as brother and sister.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
so the guy's like, do you really think he has like those kinds of feelings for her? Like, don't. And he was like, do you really think that would be a thing? Do you really like? Wouldn't it be weird if he did? And I'm sitting there going, okay, calm down. Don't be so judgy.
Yeah, first of all, why would it be weird? If they're not related, why is that weird?
So I look at Mike and I'm like, look outside right now. I'm like, just look outside. And he looks. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, look, that could be Hayden and Annabelle someday. He's like, yeah, you're right. That could be. And I'm like, do you hear the conversation happening? He's like, yeah. And then the guy comes inside. And the guys try to make casual conversation. Like, they're pretending like they're not going to ask him what it was about. It was wicked funny because they, like, start other conversations. And they go, so, what's going on with you and so-and-so? And he's like, what do you mean?
Wait, you're hearing all of this?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is so good.
And so he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, do you think you would ever have feelings for her? And he's like, listen, man, you need to calm down with that shit. And I was like, oh, my God, he's being protective. Because he doesn't want to, like, assume anything, probably. Like, that she would be into him. Like, it was evident that there was, like, something.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. But, like, he also was being very respectful.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah, I'm going to hit that. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't think Hayden understands that that's not his sister. That Annabelle's not his sister.
Yeah. It's funny because every time Annabelle talks about Hayden, she's like, he's my brother. He's my cousin. He's my best friend.
Oh.
And so it's like she's trying to just like, I don't know. It's like, we just let her go with what she's feeling in the moment.
Yeah. I mean, they're at this age. They're just like, whatever. Yeah. Whatever helps you be connected. Mm-hmm. Little nuggets. Mm-hmm. That is so funny. What are the odds? That's hilarious. I just love that you were hearing like, literally everything. And then, like, guys have those kind of conversations. That's just like...
Yeah. If it were you and me, I bet they were sitting out there, because they're girls, I bet they were sitting out there chatting about it the whole time.
They probably were, too.
But, like, the guys are, like, softly stepping over it, because guys don't have those kinds of conversations. Right. They're not big emotional conversations. Yeah. Like, they'll have that with their mom or their dad, but they're not gonna... Right. Sit there with their friends.
Meanwhile.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So.
Okay. So we just turned the fan on because I am literally melting. Yeah, everything is sticking together.
It's hot. I'm sure it's better than outside, but when you've been sitting in here for a few minutes, it makes no difference.
Yeah. So I'll just have to do like background noise cancellation. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and if not, just know that this is keeping us going.
If there's a hum, get over it. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're lucky you even have a recording this week, all right?
We've been living in...
We've just been
sub-zero to like 70 degrees with rain. So we're having a hot day.
Yeah.
And our bodies are not used to it.
No, it's not. It's like we've had a lot of rain, like you were saying. And so when we've had little bursts of like sunshine and this and that, I've been trying to like get him down to the beach, collect seashells, go throw rocks in the water. I took him down to the carousel down in the orchard, and he loves this thing. So people who aren't from Maine or understand what this is, so it's like an old carousel. When was this thing? Like, it's old. Like maybe like the 50s. Mm-hmm. Like it's really old. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's like a vintage carousel, and it's not just all horses. There's like a pig, there's a rooster, there's a dragon, there's horses, but it's just like all kinds of different animals. Yeah. And he loves the dragon. He rode the rooster, has a soft spot for birds, but he just like loves this dragon. And so took him down there, and now it's like every time he thinks we're going towards the beach, he's like, I'm gonna ride dragon, I'm gonna ride a dragon. Mm-hmm. So we've done that a couple times, and I forgot where I was going with this story. It's hot, okay? It's hot. My brain is on over.
Maybe that's where it started.
It's hot. Yeah. My brain is like not doing its brain activities. My brain isn't braining, okay?
Oh my God, I love it.
Did you see? So this morning, so this morning I wake up. This is something different than what I was just gonna say, but. My eyes are literally like so shut. I'm so sleeping. Like I'm literally awakened in the middle of a really deep sleep, just screaming, I don't want to lay down here. And I'm like, what is happening? And I actually think he was having a dream. I think he was having like a bad dream or something because he was kind of confused. He's like, I want to live with Mama. And I was like, Hayden, I'm right here. No! And like he was seeing red. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then he like, I just like gave him a minute, let him like scream it out. And I was like, do you want to lay with Mama? Okay. I'm like, okay, lay back down. Well, at that point, I'm awake, right?
Yeah.
So I like pull out the phone. He falls back asleep. No big deal. I'm like, cool. Glad you're like back asleep. This is like 6 a.m. So I pull out my phone and I start like scrolling and it like People reported it. OK Magazine reported it. I looked it up on Google and it was like all over the news. So there were like 25 kids that were missing were found in Florida.
You know, it's crazy. It just makes me wonder, like, so this article is all about how when law enforcement agencies and child protective services and, you know, informing law enforcement on behaviors of certain things in certain situations, how when all of these organizations come together, they can get a lot accomplished in a short amount of time. Because I think they found them within a span of like 3 days.
Why are we just figuring this out?
Right. It's been a huge topic of conversation. There's like so many fictional TV shows about how like silos are bad and like the FBI doesn't work with the CIA. I'm so educated. Like, I'm like, what
listen,
is
it's hot.
again?
It's hot.
Right.
Our brains are overheated.
I'm like,
leave us
what
alone.
is that department of the what again?
It's the department.
The CIA.
Yes.
Okay, when the FBI doesn't work with the CIA, kind of like that kind of thing, where like they're withholding information from each other because they're like
we're going to be the agency that's going to figure this out, not you. This is our case. This is not your whatever.
Yeah. So like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The article like talks a lot about how when people come together to fix things, they fix it.
Yeah.
And it was more about that than about, you know, why the 25 kids were missing. However, I think what it does for when you see a headline like that, your heart instantly wonders why 25 kids were missing.
Why were they missing? Were they all like, was this just like all, I didn't read the actual article. I sent it to you and then I fucked off basically. But like, why were the kids missing? Do they actually get into that?
Not at all.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because, so there's, so they kind of like touched over, like, it was all different agencies between like human trafficking and then child protective services and then, you know, just impoverished areas or kids that aren't necessarily educated on the dangers or how to basically use your instincts when dealing with tricky people. So that kind of thing.
Yeah. You know what I started doing with Hayden? So whenever he's in like the carts, I always will buckle him in, but sometimes if he's wearing jeans and he has little belt loops, I actually buckle it through the back of his belt loop instead, so it's not just, I just get so paranoid of like, I might be like leaning over to grab something from a shelf and somebody just goes over and snatches him, you know, like maybe if he was ugly I'd be less concerned about it, but I think he's kind of cute, so
maybe
I feel
if he
like
was super obnoxious,
maybe he was like
screaming the whole time you're in the grocery store. Nobody, not even a kidnapper trying to make money, wants to deal with that.
Oh my God. So funny. Yeah, I know. I do stuff like that. I just like, I get so nervous because like, it just takes a second.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why, but this is bringing me back to our dinner last night. At the very end, when the restaurant was about to close, like all the toddlers who were out to dinner with their parents were just letting loose, and there was a table fairly close to us, and they went to the bathroom, changed their kids into their pajamas, and it was like there was only a few people left in the restaurant, so they were going crazy.
Whatever.
And Mike and I were just kind of like missing Annabelle, so we were relishing in the moment, and we were just like, oh, they're so cute. And the mom looks over to stare. We probably had our RBF.
Oh God, did you look really?
We probably had RBF. And she looks over at us, and I'm actually thinking to myself, they're so cute, but for all these youngsters, like the guys behind us, I was like, these guys are probably thinking this is the greatest birth control ever. Like, they're probably thinking they never want to have kids. But Mike and I were like, oh, they're so cute. And so she's looking at me, and she's like, I'm so sorry. It's just, like, way past their bedtime. Like, you don't have to explain. We just think they're cute because we have one of our own.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't think she fully, like, I think she was ready to kind of, like, she was ready to defend the situation.
Yeah. I feel like a good mom is usually very observant
Yeah.
of everybody that's around.
Yeah.
They may not be able to do anything about it, but they're definitely aware of the people that are staring.
Hyper aware.
Yeah.
Like if Annabelle makes a peep over normal voice level, I'm like I have an internal like, and then like I figure out, then I reassess.
Did I tell you? I know I told you this, but I don't think I talked about this on here. But this just reminds me of like a restaurant story. Have I shared with our listeners what Hayden screamed in the middle of Ken's place? I don't think I have.
No, you know. We've talked about swearing.
We have talked about
not
swearing.
talked about this specific moment.
Oh my God. So it's a nice day. Take him. I have like a mommy and Hayden day. We go to the beach, collect seashells, have a whole moment. It's sweet. Then I take him to Ken's place. Like, he loves fried shrimp. So we're there, and there's one high chair at Ken's where the little buckle and the strap doesn't work. It's broken. So I just kind of lightly just kind of rested it on his lap to make him think that it was, hoping that he would know that it's buckled and just wouldn't try standing up or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, he moved and the buckle fell and he goes, uh-oh. And then he went to try to like snap it back. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. And he goes, are you fucking kidding me? Now, mind you, let me set the setting here, the environment here. We have two little old ladies, literally within an arm. If I put my arm out, I would touch one of their shoulders.
Yeah.
Then next to us on the other side, we have an older couple. There was a table separating us, but that was it.
Yeah.
So, and then across from us, there was another older couple. The time of day that we went, it was like a Wednesday evening. So it was just like, it was an older crowd. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm trying to like diffuse this as quickly as possible, but I'm also trying not to laugh. He's using it in correct context. That's something I would say. Obviously, this is where he's getting it from. Great. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just like, okay, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. And then he was like, he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, Hayden, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. What the fuck? And he could see my face trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not good at that. And I'm just like, hey, let's just keep that down. We don't need to say that here, okay? What the fuck? Now, at this point, I have little ladies staring at me. I see them in the corner of my eye. They're like beating into me. Oh God, how is she gonna handle this? What is she gonna do? And then I have the other couple across the table that I feel like they were laughing. Mm-hmm. They were trying not to laugh, but they were laughing. And then I'm just like, okay. I'm just not going to give this energy. We're going to move past this. This is going to be great. And then all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck? Like so loud. I had like 3 dads turn around, laugh, smile at me. My face was like beet red. At this point, the little ladies are probably pulled out Bibles and are like,
they're ready to give it to you.
They're ready. They're so ready.
For you. Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, this is where we are. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening right now. This is great. So finally he calmed down. He got it out of his system. I was like, are you better? He's like, yep, I'm better. I'm like, okay, let's sit down. Let's eat our shrimp. Are you okay? I'm okay. I'm like, okay, cool. Glad you feel better. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I was very aware in those moments, but there was really not much I could do about it because
we can't stuff a sock in it.
It was a justified reaction, but he's a little bit more passionate than most toddlers would be in that moment about that.
Well, Annabelle would just have a meltdown. She would just have a Menty beat. I guess that's Hayden's form of a mental beat in this situation.
Well, the problem is he knows my face. Mm-hmm. He knows my face.
Yeah.
Even when I'm mad, like I just look at him and I can't be mad, and he knows that. He literally has me wrapped around his finger, and he just knows how to make me laugh. And like I try so hard in those moments to not give that stuff energy, because it's like I know we've talked about this. In like the privacy of our home, like you're gonna say it, right?
Yeah.
So like I'd rather you say it with me and use it correctly, but I don't want you saying it out. And the thing is like when they're that little, they don't understand where to say it. Right. And so I'm just trying not to give it life, but it's so hard because it's so funny. Right. And I'm just like, oh no.
Right. It's really hard. And I have a really, like you said, like I just start laughing uncontrollably. And I think in that situation, if there was any pee in my bladder in that situation, I probably would have been
And, like, the first time he said it, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, oh, no, here we go. 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 Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's happening.
You can predict the future.
I was like, here it comes.
You know it. You know it. There's no stopping it. No, but I think if I were in that situation, I probably would have peed my pants laughing. But if Mike was there to help me, then he probably would have picked her up and taken her outside so she could get it out.
Yes.
While I figured
that
out.
would have been very helpful in that moment.
Right.
To have him removed, get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And then you can come back to be surrounded by little old ladies who probably think you're Satan at this point.
Right. But it's, like, hard because you have 1,000 things going on inside of your head. Like, you're trying to manage quite a few things. So it's really hard when you have the mom brain of, like, okay, gotta get this, gotta do that, gotta make sure he's, like, comfortable in his chair, blah, 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 blah. You're not gonna, like, be able to just pick him up and remove yourself.
No.
All right. So, anyway, bringing it back to the 25 kids.
Oh, yeah. There was actually...
So, it's funny because, like, I had this oh no moment last week. I was on Instagram scrolling, and this mom had taught her 3-year-old, like, just in case we're in the grocery store and I lose you, or you lose me because you wander off, or, like, whatever, like, what to do. And I was like, I used to do that with my mom all the time. I used to do stupid...
Oh, my God.
And...
I would deliberately hide on her and scare her.
Right.
What an asshole. My God, I would do that.
I have such a huge story for that. But, like, Annabelle's 4 now.
Yeah.
She's 4.
It's
and I saw that this was 3. And I was like, this child at 3 knows what to do. So I instantly started teaching and then trying to ingrain the information from that one reel, which is only touching the surface. Really, truly,
what is it?
Safety. So the first thing that she does is, like, if the child is lost or, like, she's not with her in the grocery store, then you make sure that the child can just start yelling at least your first name. So Annabelle, I practiced for me, Mike, his mom, and my grandmother. Sonia, 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 Mike, 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 Diane, Diane, you know, just like yelling it loud. And then memorizing our phone numbers. So she knows Mike's off the top of her head, and lo and behold, someone has started teaching her my number before I even knew. So she
good.
She can say most of my phone number. And I was
like,
who taught you this? I don't know.
But she loves numbers.
Yeah,
She's
she
good
loves
with numbers.
She's a numbers girl.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So, like, those were the 2 biggest ones from the reel, was, like, knowing first and last name and knowing your phone number. And she's known, like, how to say our names for a while, but not how to use it. So I feel like that was really good. So then, like, I've really been honing in on that. But the next thing is, like, learning tricky people. But honestly, the thing about it, though, is, like, we're just helicopter parents, and she's always with us, or with my grandmother, or with Mike's mom. So there's not
But you still want to teach her that because you never know.
I just haven't thought of it, though. It's awful.
Hayden started calling me Jess. I'm like, it's Mama. He's like, okay, Jess, can I have some water? I'm like, what is this? Who are you?
Being very casual about it. I love that for him.
He's so casual about it. Says the girl that calls her mom Doris. Yeah. So I guess this is payback.
It's funny, though, because Annabelle will call me Sonia sometimes, and it's only when I'm super distracted. It's like, and it's not, like, there was a time when I was a little more distracted on my phone, but it's now, it's like I'm doing something.
He does it because he knows it gets to me. And I'm like, no, it's Mama. And he does it, and he says he has a little smirk when he's like, hey, Jess, with, like, a smirk on his face. And I'm just like, you need to get out of here. You need to go sit down. Okay, Jess.
One time, because Annabelle hears Mike call me babe so much, one time
she called you babe?
Hey, babe. And I was like, you sound like your dad. Like, what?
Oh, my God.
I'm like, are you talking to me? She's like, oops, mommy.
Oops, mommy.
Like, okay. So basically, this was a big heads up for me that... First of all, the article was, like, a big heads up. And then, like, seeing that Instagram thing, I was like, wait, they're learning this at 3? We should probably be on this. So, age appropriate. Like, whatever your child can handle as far as...
And for when they're younger, you know what's interesting that I've noticed? Like, Hayden remembers songs really well.
So
So we sing together every night as we're falling asleep. And there's songs that, like, he starts singing, and I'm like, oh my God, you know the words. Like, I've literally I think I sang that to you a couple of times, and he, like, doesn't know them all perfectly, but he knows them enough. So I'm wondering if, like, you know, for Hayden's age, doing, like, maybe thinking of, like, a safety song that he can sing that has all the information in it, but it's in the form of a song, might help him remember it, too. Make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just stuff that needs to be instilled.
Right.
So they basically just stay wherever they are and just keep screaming the name?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, the mom's probably going to be retracing her steps, so it's probably a good idea that they stay where they are. I know. It used to be, like, devastating. I remember when I was little having that happen, and it was, like, I was always so traumatized.
You want to know what I used to do? I used to, like, deliberately run away from my mom.
Yeah.
And I would, like, be hiding and like, behind, like, racks and stuff, watching her freak out. And then I would, like, run to the front of the store, and I was like, can you page Doris Golding to the front, please? I lost my mom. And then they would, like, she'd be, like, looking around, and then they'd be like, Doris Golding to the front of the store, please.
Oh, my God.
Your daughter's up here. She's really worried.
Making your mom out to be, like, a terrible mother. You started young with your mother.
I did. I really did. I was only, like, 5 or 6 when I was doing that shit.
I feel like everyone has the same story of what my brother and I did to my mom, but we were at the store. One of the brands from when we were little, like, children's clothes, used to have, like, the collie dogs on the tags, so it looked like Lassie.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother and I were obsessed with Lassie. That's what my grandmother would put on for us when we were little.
Yeah.
So one time my mom took us back to school shopping, and we were probably, like, 4 or 5, whatever. And so we hid underneath all the racks, pulling off all the quote-unquote Lassie tags. And we were under there, all the racks, for so long that the entire store was looking for us, and they ended up calling the police.
Stop!
Yeah, they ended up calling the police.
You were just playing in the racks. They had no idea.
Under the racks, just skipping from rack to rack, making it really hard for everyone to find us.
Cool. And you had no idea people were looking for you?
No. And so we were just happy. Yeah. And we were in our happy place.
Listen, you were just living your best life.
We were.
Yeah. You were safe.
Fun.
Speaking of fun.
Yeah. Fun in the summer.
Fun in the summer. Activities.
Because, like, when the police came, we had to, like, my mom still had to finish, because she had to buy us our fucking school clothes. It was the end of the summer.
So she's pissed, but then she has to buy you shit. Put us in the car
and lock the doors in the middle of the summer. The windows were cracked just enough for us to stick our noses out while she paid for the shit.
She's like, you assholes! Get in the car! Oh my God.
You know, nowadays the police would have yelled at her for that.
Of course they would have.
But anyways, my poor mother.
You see, I saw this reel, sorry, and then we'll go into the topic, but it was like, this person goes up to this car, and then it had like a sign, and it was just like, don't worry, the car's running, I have AC, and I have water, and I'm just waiting here. He's happier here, trust me. And then you look behind the sign, and it's like the husband or the boyfriend sleeping in the car.
So funny. Clearly they're happier there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun summer activities that are low budget but make lasting memories. I feel like we're living that this summer.
We are living it. We are sliving it, and as Paris Hilton would say.
Sliving it and slothing it. Because
I've been slothing. I've been slithing and slothing.
Raining like almost every day until this week.
I've been sloring. Slothing and slithering. There's an episode title for you.
That's hot.
Okay, this champagne tastes like we need to get this going before I can't do this anymore. So.
Okay. Something fun, but also hypothetical. Actually, you've probably been doing this. Well, you've been doing this with Hayden. But nature walks collecting treasures. I mean, Annabelle would thrive in this, but I'm also worried about ticks, so we've been going to the beach instead.
Yes. So, also, though, about the ticks, because I think we might have mentioned this, but we started using the tick pouches, the little patches. It's like Nat Pat or whatever. There's
Nat
other
Pat.
brands, but I saw it. And so we've been using those, and I think they've been working.
Yeah.
I put one of those. I put a tick patch and a mosquito patch, and then plus I got this like oil stuff that I gave you. Came in a pack of 2. We can include it in the show notes. And so I spray him down before he goes out. And it's been working. He was getting like at least like 1 tick on him a day. And I was like freaking out to like nothing.
Yeah.
And like I literally thoroughly check him in the bath like every single night. And like I haven't seen a single thing. So these little things, they are worth it. They are amazing. So back to the nature walks. I think you've been doing this more. I just recently started to doing this with Hayden and taking him out and stuff. And he loves it. It's so fun.
Yeah. So we, for the past couple of years, we've been taking Annabelle to the beach after work. And I mean, this is really good for working moms. Going to the beach after work, there's less people, and the sun isn't as hot. And taking them to collect seashells, like go for walks.
That's exactly what I did with Hayden that night. It was after work. It was like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Sun was setting, so it wasn't super hot. There was hardly anybody there.
Yeah.
We got a little bucket. We were just collecting some I was collecting shells. He wasn't quite understanding the concept. Every time I'd hand him something, I was like, look at this, how cute this is. I'd rinse it off in the water. He'd look at it and be like, oh, and then he'd throw it in the water. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like everything I'd hand him, he would just throw it. I'm like, okay, never mind. But yes.
Yeah. And I mean, I just feel like, and it's also one of the times of the day when the air is a little cooler, but the water is still really warm. So it feels nice to dip your toes and just like relax. So obviously we do like to go to the beach during the day, but we're packing a wagon.
That's a lot.
We're packing lunch, snacks, water to hydrate everyone throughout the day, extra clothes, sunscreen for days, bug spray because there's black flies.
Yeah.
Like, you're packing the kitchen sink and you're hauling it down to the beach in 100-degree weather. Forgetting to put sunscreen on yourself because you've taken care of everyone else. So you're fried like a lobster. You look like a lobster by the end of the day. Well, this is me. I'm specifically talking about me.
No, I'm connecting to this.
Trying to juggle it all.
I feel it.
Yeah. And so I just feel like when you can throw on your shoes.
Yeah.
The kid's already wearing their shorts and their t-shirt.
Right.
Whatever. You can throw them in a bathing suit, throw them in the car, get to the beach, and enjoy relaxation instead of having to do all of that. It's just like a low-key, low-budget, fun thing to do.
I agree. And that's what it was. It was just kind of like an impromptu. It was finally a nice day. I was itching to get out. I just threw on, he had like shorts and a t-shirt on. I just like threw some stuff in a little diaper bag, grabbed a towel, and we just went. Like it wasn't even like a big thing. Yeah, because I was like, I'm going to take him to eat after, so it'll be fine. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. It also helps that we live right next to the beach. So
exactly. There's lakes and there's ponds. Some ponds.
I love how, so the next one, water tables in bathing suits. Yeah. That's the key word, in bathing suits.
Yeah, because they're going to get wet. Like, if they're going to have fun, they're going to get soaked.
Yeah, it's like you can't tell a child, like Hayden loves water tables, but I'm not going to sit there and tell him, don't get wet. Like, that's part of it. You're going to get wet. Yeah. It is a thing. It is what it is. It was funny because when we went to Cassie's birthday, they had water tables out, and we had just gotten there, and Hayden beelined it to the water tables. And I was like, can we? I'm like, all right, fine. I'm just going to let it go. Yeah. I let it go. I already got a photo with you. It's fine. We're going to let this go. Yeah. I was like literally having this whole conversation, and I turned around, and there was like another mom, and she was like laughing to herself. She's just like, I did the same thing. Yeah. She's like, it's where we are. Right. Cool. Good. Right. Glad I'm not alone.
Like, seriously. And then there were some parents, like, it was a cold day. Yeah. And then there were some parents who were dealing with the fact that their kid actually got into the pool.
I know.
So I guess the water table's like that happy middle ground, you know? But yeah, definitely bathing suits, towels.
Absolutely.
All the things. And also the great thing about water tables is that they can be occupied by it for like hours while you just sit there and you do what you need to do.
Oh, you know what I saw? So apparently like wasps and like bees and hornets, they love standing water. So like with water tables, well, yes, but if it's there like all day, like to keep them, all the bees and the wasps and stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they don't like, it's either peppermint or mint or something. I think it's peppermint. So if you get a little bit of a peppermint oil and you put little drops of peppermint oil in the water, it keeps them away.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Love that.
Like, gotta try that.
And like, if springing for a water table and you're not sure if your child's actually gonna be obsessed with it, like our two children are, you can always just get like a bucket and give them a couple of water toys to play in it, and they're gonna be obsessed.
Yep.
I mean, we don't have to go crazy.
No.
Same with the next one, sand buckets. You know how like you have kinetic sand and all that stuff? You can just put it in like, you can go to the dollar store and get like a dish bucket and just put sand in it and let them play.
Yeah.
It's almost easier than doing a sandbox because you don't have to like worry about rain getting on it or whatever. You can like store it inside if you want to, or in a shed or somewhere. And it's not expensive. You can give them their little sand toys and let them play with it.
What is in kinetic sand to make it? It's like magnetic, right?
Kinetic sand. I don't even really know.
It's so cool. It's such a mystery to me.
Yeah, I love that it can like, it comes in different colors and it can smell pretty. Like Annabelle had one, I think one of the first kinetic sand sets that she had, it was like floral and it was to make like little, like a garden.
I feel like Hayden would try to eat it.
Oh yeah. And, you know, that reminds me
of the time that you ate it.
Well,
I know what you're
talking about. Did we talk about this on the podcast?
I don't think we talked about it yet. I think you need to bring this up.
My God.
I think this is really funny.
My brother, for Annabelle's birthday party, he got her this box that it's not technically edible, but it basically is pretend making cookies. And I thought it was kinetic sand because everything about it looked like kinetic sand.
Yeah.
And then it happened that my grandmother got her this picnic table with basically 2 buckets in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Where she could play with sand or water. So I sent this box of what I thought was kinetic sand over to my grandmother's house. And it's such a coincidence because my brother texted me while I was getting ready after I dropped her off. And he goes, hey, did Annabelle like that cookie dough set that she got for her birthday? And I was like, oh yeah, the kinetic sand. I just brought it over to Nana's so she could play with it in her picnic table. And he was like, oh no, it's not sand, it's edible. And she's supposed to make like cookies out of it. Like almost like a cookie dough kind of situation where you like can decorate it or whatever. Meanwhile, I call my grandmother, and I'm like, how's Annabelle liking her kinetic sand cookie dough? And she's like, nope, that's not what it is. It's not what it is. We opened it 5 seconds after you left, and what it is the biggest mess I have ever seen in my entire life. It is not sand, in fact. It is... It's like pretend dough, and it like came with all these different like frosting colors that like don't come out. Like when you get it on your clothes, it just doesn't come out. Oh my God, she was like, so yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, Brian was just asking how it went, so I thought I would give you a call and see how it was going. She's like, yep, it's going in the trash, and I was like, okay.
Oh no! Your Nan also is like,
yeah, she's the most
so
patient.
chill.
She's the most patient.
So patient.
She will get down on the floor and play with her.
So
like,
for
anything.
her to be like, absolutely not.
No, she's never.
Like,
Annabelle is 4, and she's been watching her since she was like 6 months old, and she has never once said a toy was going in the trash.
Oh my God!
And I send all the worst shit.
That
over
is
there.
so
I send the
funny.
worst stuff over there.
That is so funny. So this next one, local libraries often have story time a couple days a week during the summer. I used to love going to the Dyer Library.
Yeah.
In Saco. Did you know it's haunted?
No.
Oh my God.
Maybe we should take the kids there together for story time.
And then go find a ghost.
Yeah. Because it would be... Okay, so it would be about you. I mean, it would be about the kids, and it would also be about us.
Yeah. And then we'd like sneak away and go find a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's something nostalgic about like you have your library card, you go, you pick out a book.
Yeah.
I need to start. Hayden loves books.
Yeah.
We literally, not even exaggerating, read probably 7 to 8 books every single night. His favorite thing is going to his little bookshelf, picking out all these books. There's just one book. It's this tractor book.
Oh, yes.
It is like the hardest. I feel like an idiot when I'm reading this book. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it literally, so it doesn't, you know how like most books have like a rhythm, like da 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Whether it rhymes or not, it has a good flow, right?
Yeah.
So this book rhymes-ish. Sometimes it rhymes, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's one of those books where it's one thing if you have, like, you have it opened up, right? You have one page on the left side, page on the right side. And you have words on the left and the words to the right. And it's one thing if you start a sentence on the left and it finishes on the right. It's another thing if you have a full sentence that sounds like it has a start, a middle, and an end. But then you turn the page and you realize there's 4 more words because that's actually the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
So you're like, da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Like, it is like, and it's like the hardest book to read. It's like, I had my dad read it. And so there's this like, there's this part where it's like, striper truck, she knows what to do. She puts the lines on. So blah, 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 blah. Well, my dad's like, and then stripper truck comes along. Like,
he's like, wait, what did I just say?
and it's just like, it's such a hard book to power through.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you know me, like, I like to give things voices. I like to bring it to life. And it's like, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm reading here. Like, this is just so hard. But anyway, I'm going off topic. But yeah, Hayden loves books. I feel like he would love the whole library thing. Just going, picking out a book. His whole thing, though, would be like having to give the book back. He'd have a hard time with that.
Emotionally connected.
He would not like to have to return the book.
Right.
That's
something I haven't thought about with Annabelle, but she would feel the same, I think.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's mine. It's mine. That's a new thing. It's mine.
Yeah.
He'll like grab my slipper and run away. It's mine. Like, it's actually not yours.
Yeah. Can I have
Get out of here.
So good. And then some communities have free or by a donation play gyms that are great for rainy days. We used to do that with Annabelle a lot.
Like, would the play lot be considered a play gym? Not really.
I mean, definitely because it's so big and like open and they can run around and it's great. But we used to take one. It was like in Gorham Community Services, and it's like in the actual gym. Like it's like think of like a basketball gym, like a high school gym. So basically, they put like a kitchen set and, you know, like the old parachutes that I was talking about earlier, and like a bunch of just like jungle gym kind of things that are easy to put up and take down. Yeah. And then it's more about like the kids just interact with each other and have a good time.
Fun.
Yeah. And like when I was taking Annabelle there, she was in the stage of like when you get in the kitchen, she wouldn't let anybody have any food.
Like Hayden?
Yeah.
She was at Hayden's level at this point where he steals all the food. Yeah. This is my space. Leave me alone.
So it was like a nice learning opportunity, but I was also very much helicoptering, whereas like I could see the other moms just like off on the side, and when I would see Annabelle like snatching up fruit out of someone's hand, I was like, oh, Annabelle, ask first. And they're just like looking at me. And I'm like, just ask first.
They're probably looking at you because they're like, oh, we were there. We were there a couple like last year. Don't worry about it.
I'm like, manners matter, Annabelle.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hayden is so aggressive with his manners in like the best way. I love it. But it's like so funny. We go out to eat and it's like every time like the waiter comes, brings something, he's like, thank you! Like screams at them. They're like, you're welcome. He's so aggressive about it.
So funny. I love that. And like playing sports in the yard, like soccer, t-ball, and playing catch and stuff like that. We used to do that all the time when we were little.
Like capture the flag and like tag. And, you still love those games. Neighborhoods.
Yep. Can't wait to have a yard soon.
Yeah, it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Hey mamas, are you someone who's 35 plus and struggled with fertility, endured a miscarriage, experienced heartbreaking fostering or adoption challenges, or were perhaps flat out told by a doctor that you will never conceive naturally, and despite the odds eventually found your happy ending by becoming a mama?
Send us your story at geriatricmamas.com. We would love to feature your journey to motherhood on a future Geriatric Mamas episode.
So our next topic, sleepaway camps, summer camps.
Yeah, this is the season. Like parents are getting sick of their kids being home and they're like, get out of here.
So Is it just me, or was like sleepaway camps more of a thing in like the 80s and 90s than it is today?
Yeah, and when kids were older,
Yeah.
for sure.
I just like remember too, it's like, you know, all the movies.
Yeah.
They all
There's
are about
so
like
many
sleep. There's
movies
so
about
many
it.
movies about sleepaway camps. And I remember like The Parenting Trap, it started with they were at a sleepaway camp. And I remember growing up like really badly just wanting to go to sleepaway camp because of that. I just thought it looked so fun. I never knew obviously how expensive they were. So there's that.
Right.
But like
Yeah.
now that I'm an adult, I'm like the thought of like sending Hayden off to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just don't think I could do it.
Yeah. It's scary. And, like, it's, you know, we can't say this enough, I guess. We're helicopter parents.
Yeah. I'm embracing it.
Yeah. And I know, like, right now they're, like, little and they're gaining their little wings. And eventually someday they're going to fly. And they're going to want to be independent. And they're going to want to do things like this. But it's also, every family is different.
Yeah.
Every child is different. And it's, like, for me, one thing that has really resonated from learning from other moms on social media is children are learning their values from home. And when they're little, like our kids are, they're very impressionable. They're still learning these values. They are not fully ingrained. So when you send them out to school, preschool, or, you know, wherever, when kids are parented differently than your child, and all different reasons for all different whatever, like the values of other people's parents can get instilled in your child. And so it's like, for me, it's like, at what age will my child have all of her boundaries, all of her values, all of everything fully in place so that she can protect herself and know who she is? Yeah. Without being so influenced by another person that it causes her to be in trouble in one way or another. And so I guess for me, it's like, I'm never going to say never because I know Annabelle is a very independent child. Yeah. And there's going to be things where I can't always prevent things from happening. I'm not always going to be able to be there for everything. So it's going to be, for us, I think it's just going to be someday, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be like an older thing. Like, I went to cheer camp, but we were, in high school at that age, you know? Like, so, like, I'm talking about, like, now, young, like, 10-year-olds going to sleepaway camp, you know? And, like, while that most, like, there's probably a lot of people that are like, that's old enough. Like, to me, I'm like... they're still babies. You've only been on this world for 10 years. Like, have you seen a 10-year-old's face? They're babies. They're literally babies. Yeah, they're tiny. So, like, I don't know. Yeah. About that. Yeah. I was trying to, like, look up what age or whatever. And obviously everyone's different. But it was kind of like around the age of like 12 is when things are kind of sort of okay to be a little bit more independent. And I remember when I was 12, I was babysitting my neighbor's toddler. Definitely our amygdalas are not fully formed until you're 25. Until you're 25. So there's that. Yeah. Just because I was babysitting my neighbor's another, like, you know, I know we're talking about, like, the extreme of, like, sleepaway camp. Like, I'm thinking of, like, you're gone for, like, 3 weeks. It's sleepaway camp. It's a big thing. And, you know, it's, like, a whole thing. But, you know, there's also, like, the day camps where you go for a few hours a week. Like, I know that article that I sent you. Kylie Kelsey, on her latest podcast episode, she mentioned that basically what I just said, like, parents are now home with their children or working with their children home every day because school's been out for a little bit. So what the heck do you do with them? Right. And her 2 oldest are now old enough to start some camps. But what she meant when she said that, because they're only 5 and 4 and 5. So I'm just like, to me, I'm like, are they? Yeah. Like, so really what she was saying is, like, they go for either 2 or 3 days a week for like 3 hours. Right. So they're more like just doing toddler style. Yeah. Like preschool style day camps. It's not like full on camps, but they are
But they're still getting, like, the fun out of it, the experience out of it. Doesn't YMCA do stuff like that?
I think they do.
Have, like, summer camp stuff, I think.
And some of them are really good. So, I mean, even littles can, like, participate in some kind of a day camp or something.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny, like, to think about, you and I are sitting here, we're both stay-at-home moms / working from home moms, so we have our littles constantly, and so we have a different perspective where you have, like, a lot of moms that physically go to an office every day. They have to have their child in childcare, and so when suddenly, like, school is out, and then it's like, do I just put them in childcare for longer? What do I do with them now they're home? What happens or whatever? It's like, I feel like for us, it's almost like we don't really skip a beat. It doesn't really feel necessarily different, other than the weather is different and nicer, and
you can
there's more things to do. Yeah. So it's like, to us, it's just like, okay, now it's nice out. Let's see, what else are we gonna do? But it's like, it is a whole other thing, and I feel like a lot of moms, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to try to make it this whole thing. Yeah. Which is a great segue to our next topic.
Yeah, so unstructured, messy summers, aka summer rot, is becoming a thing.
Summer rot.
It's becoming a thing. I mean, it's a very modern term, rot, for, like, anything.
I love it.
There's couch rot.
I love it.
There's
bed rot.
Sunday bed rot.
Sit in my bed and rot.
Yeah. So rot and then reset to, like, balance. Yeah. But right now we're talking about rot.
Yeah, rot.
So, I love in this exact episode, Kylie Kelsey talked about how she's going to be handling her mostly unstructured summer. Because like she said, the kids are only going to camp for, like, a short amount of time, a couple days a week. So really it's about, like, she has a little one. It was born in March. So if she can strap the baby on in a carrier and the other 3 have their shoes on, they're going somewhere. Right. So like we were talking about earlier, take them to the beach, take them to the lake, take them on a nature walk, get them outside if you can, just to, like, get their energy out and, you know, get their creative juices flowing. The summer rot does not mean, according to, like, social media and, like, news articles, it doesn't mean watching TV or being on the screen.
No.
It does mean educational screens sometimes, because the educational screens are great, but it doesn't mean just, like, watching whatever kid's TV show.
No, it just means, like, at least how I interpreted it, is it just means, like, you kind of just, like, just let things go. Just go with the flow, let things go. Yeah. Things are going to be a little, it's like, okay, you know what? The other day, this is big for me. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners who are going to be like, seriously, it's not that big of a deal. But anybody that knows me knows that this is a big deal. Yeah. The other day, my child was out in public wearing dinosaur pajama bottoms and a Buzz Lightyear pajama shirt.
I'm shocked.
Yes. He was out in public like this.
This is like your biggest pet peeve.
I know. It was just down to the street to get some ice cream and back. But we felt very passionately about this outfit because we picked it out and it needed to happen. And so I took a deep breath and we let it happen.
I'm sure all the kids were there.
It took a lot. It took a lot for me.
He fit in.
Oh, no, he didn't.
He did it?
Oh, no, he did not. Oh, no. But it's okay. It's okay.
They were clean.
But, like, I don't know if that was a good example, but my point is it's just, like, it's summer, it's hot, like, let it just be fun. Like, I know for me, like, I was very fortunate to grow up in a really, like, a beautiful state. There was a lot to do. Just me, not you. No. We were fortunate. Just me. Where it was, like, there was a lot to do. You have the beach, you have the woods, you have the lakes. Like, there's just, you have, like, nature. And so it's, like, I remember catching fireflies in mason jars. I remember staying up late to, like, bonfires. I remember, like, going to the beach and watching sunsets. I remember collecting seashells. I remember, it's, like, doing all these things. That's what I remember about summer. Yeah. And a lot of it is, like, the late summer nights. And sometimes it's just, like, cruising the beach, going to get an ice cream. Sometimes I was in my pajamas because I would have just had my bath. I was getting ready for bed. And then all of a sudden my dad would be like, let's go get an ice cream. I'd be like, okay. And I'd literally be in my pajamas and we'd go get an ice cream. So it's like, I know that I had those fun memories, and that was literally exactly the thing. Like, he was clean. He just got out of his bath. Yeah. He just insisted that that is the outfit combo he needed to wear, and he was not hearing otherwise. And so that's what happened.
Yeah. So. And I remember when I was little, like, one of my favorite things to do, my grandmother would just, it was like setting the intention of what we're going to do. Because, like, you can go to the beach and not set an intention. And you can just, like, do all the things. Like, the seashells and the gotta go swimming and the gotta build sandcastles and, like, gotta do all the things and, like, pack everything.
Yeah.
Or you can set an intention. And what my grandmother used to do that I really loved when I was little is she used to be like, okay, let's go build a sandcastle.
Oh.
And you can just, like, pick your kid up, put him in the car, go to the beach, and have just the tools to build a sandcastle.
Yeah.
And then go home and do what you're going to do the rest of your day.
You know, I will say the moments where I don't plan things, like I plan things like we were talking, you know, you pack up all the stuff, you have the lunch, you have this, and you're trying to plan for this big, beautiful, aesthetically wonderful beach day. But the times that are just kind of like in the moment, just sporadic, and you're just like, you know what, let's grab a towel and let's go. Those are usually the times that I have the most fun.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's way less stressful.
Right.
You don't have all this shit.
Yeah.
You're not like, there's not so much pressure on the moment to have it be perfect. And is it acknowledged? Do people appreciate it?
Right.
Because there's nothing worse.
Or whatever. You don't even have to be in gear to do what you're going to do.
No.
You just leave in what you're wearing.
Yeah. There's just nothing worse but like packing up all the shit, doing everything, and then having like your toddler decide that that's the moment that they're just like, not impressed with life, and they're just gonna let you and everybody around you know about it.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting here with all this shit, like, cool.
Oh, that's how it goes every time.
So here we are.
Predictable. If there's anything that's predictable, it's that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of aesthetically pleasing, and this totally contradicts everything that we just said, but the intention is to get beautiful beach photos. We need to plan a photo shoot for Miss Annabelle and Hayden in their matching swimsuits.
The most adorable swimsuits.
They have matching Seagull swimsuits. They are so cute. They're so beautiful.
We went to Carter's with, again, the word intention, but we went there for something. I don't remember what.
We were shopping Annabelle's birthday week, like all the stuff, and we just like popped into Carter's.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were looking for. Do you ever need a reason?
I mean, Annabelle is growing so fast that she always needs something.
Yeah, and then like first you saw the Seagull, well, I saw the Seagull bathing suit, and it was in 18 months. It was adorable, and you asked them, and they had it in her size. And then I was at the register, and I'm just like, you wouldn't happen to have this in a boy version, would you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I literally like stare at you. My eyes got so big, and she's like, do it. I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
Seagull is like, I don't know if it's everywhere in the U.S. on beaches, but like we grew up in Pine Point, and we worked at the clam bake. Yeah. But there are just like seagulls everywhere. Around the beach. Even Annabelle now knows what a seagull sounds like. So she's excited to do this shoot. She's like, where's my swimsuit? So I had to take it out the other day so she could see it. She forgot it existed. Then she remembered it existed. And then she wanted to make sure it still existed.
You know when we need to do it? We need to do it
on a foggy day.
In the morning.
Oh, yeah. Morning or like evening.
Evening might be kind of hard because I feel like it's usually the witching hour. Yeah. I know for Hayden, the witching hour starts. Sometimes it starts early around 4. Sometimes it doesn't start until about 6. But it's always that like, and it's not just an hour. It's until bedtime. Let's be real. Yeah. But yeah, I think the morning, Hayden is in the best mood in the mornings. And so I think if we like, it'll be really hard because it'll be early because we don't want the sun to be super high, so it would have to be sunrise almost. Yeah. I don't know. We can play it by ear. Maybe it can just be one of those like impromptu days where it's like it's kind of foggy, it's overcast, it's beautiful. Let's put on the swimsuits and let's go.
It'll be one of those like exactly.
You were about to say exactly what I just said. Yeah. Well, let's just wrap this up. Okay, that is all we have for you. Thank you for listening. Be sure to tune in next week. Your support is keeping the podcast going. You can help by following, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and especially by telling a friend to listen anywhere or watch on YouTube.
For more info, you can check out our website at geriatricmamas.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at geriatric_mamas. On YouTube at Geriatric Mamas, on X at Geriatric Mamas, and follow our group page on Facebook, Geriatric Mamas.
If you have a topic idea that you'd like us to discuss, are interested in being a guest, or simply have a funny geriatric story to tell, you can go to geriatricmamas.com and hit be a guest or send us your story. Bye-bye.
Yeah. A relaxing moment instead of like,
You gonna fart?
gonna choke.
Oh.
You should probably put that in the